Hi there everyone, Lars here with another Writer's Rant, brought to you by Camille's Harem. Not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers. Because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. And I'm going to dedicate this rant to the younger me, and to all the other authors out there who are just like my younger self. Here it is. You are not infallible. You are not above failure. You are not as good as you think you are. And no, this doesn't mean that your story isn't awesome. I've always firmly believed this, that the world needs your stories, that you need your stories, and that your stories need you. And because that is the case, we want you to be able to write the best story that you possibly can. Do it for yourself. Do it for your story. Do it for all of those readers out there who have not yet discovered you and who do not yet know just how much you are going to have an impact in their life. But if you continue to just strut around like you are the best thing since sliced bread and sliced cheese, God's gift to the world, well, I'm sorry. I have a wake-up call for you. You are not. Sliced bread and sliced cheese is just so good. Look, here's the thing, younger Lars. I know that you have an amazing story up there in your head. It's something that's been in there for years. In fact, some of the characters that you are right now writing, some of the stories that you want to tell, they have been there for 20 years. I know that. That's a long time to have this story bottling up inside of you, ever growing and evolving and becoming what it is that you're right now putting out onto the page. And that's awesome. But let me tell you a couple of things. Number one, it's going to take more than your first draft. It's going to take more than your second. And yeah, for your first book, you are probably going to write 15 drafts. Don't worry, it gets better. The more that you work at it, the more you're going to realize how to better write your second draft. You're probably going to end up rewriting an entire book, maybe 2, 3, or 4 books. But you know what? It's okay. In fact, the first draft is just a chance for you to get all of those ideas out there on the page, both the good and the bad. And then the second draft is there to refine all of that and cut away everything that doesn't work. That is totally fine. Your first draft is not perfect. Don't you ever think that it is. Another thing that you need to know, younger Lars, is this. Risks are awesome. It's really, really fun to take creative risks with your work. And they can be really, really fun to not only write, but to see other people react to them. It's so dang good when you get to see someone's jaw just drop, or when they come back to you and they're just all like, "What did you do? You blew my mind," or "I can't believe it. I saw it coming, but I didn't want to believe you. You misled me, and then you did it." Ah! Oh, it's so awesome to be able to hear that and to see that. But let me tell you something. Risks also come with failure. There are going to be times that you're going to write something that you think is the best thing ever, and everyone is going to hate it. And when that is what you write, you might want to go back and you might want to check things out again. Don't take 15 drafts to figure out what someone told you after the first draft, that scene didn't work. Another thing that you should do, younger Lars, even though you're already doing this, and this goes out to all authors, take their critique. Actually listen to them. Pay attention to what they have to say. True, not everything that they say is going to go into your story. There are going to be times you're going to realize that their advice just doesn't quite fit. But by listening to them, you are going to realize that there are places that you can still change, places that you can refine what you have written. And sometimes they're going to tell you exactly what you need in order to make a scene work right, or to make a character work the way that they should. Do not discard what other people have to say. They are just as smart as you are. In fact, many times, the people that you think are dumb are going to have better ideas than you. Listen to them. And no, don't be afraid about people trying to hijack your story. You're going to know when that happens. You're going to know because they want you to change every single little detail. And you're going to realize, holy dang, that doesn't sound anything like what I was trying to do. That's when you know that someone's trying to hijack your story. People who are trying to hijack your books are very, very blatant about it because they themselves are not the creative type. They're too scared to write their own stories. You're going to realize who those people are really, really quick. So, no, your writing group and the other people out there trying to help you out are not there to hijack your story. Now, younger Lars, I know that this is stinging your pride. And yes, Christopher Paolini said something that we both agree with. That you need to have a certain level of arrogance because, well, everyone believes that every story has already been told. And while every archetype has been told, not every story has been told. Why? Well, because these are your stories. They have your unique ideas, flavor, follow through, your own unique wordplay. And that's awesome. So yes, be proud of what you have written. Be proud of what you're going to write. But don't be so arrogant that you can't take criticism. And don't be so arrogant to think that you can't do anything wrong. That is what I'm trying to get across to you. Another thing that I need you to know, younger Lars, it's going to suck trying to get your stories out to publishers and to agents. You are going to get rejected a whole bunch. Many, many times. You're going to forget how many times that you have been rejected by agents and by publishers. And that's totally fine. Yes, put on your big boy pants or your big girl pants or whatever big pants you want to put on. Get on out there and do what you've got to do to get your story out there. If you actually want to share your story with the world, you have to be willing to put in the effort to do so. Yes, it's going to take a lot of work. Yes, you're going to feel very drained. Yes, it's going to mean so many headaches. Yes, it's going to mean sleepless nights. But isn't this what you signed up for? If this isn't what you want to do, well then, keep on writing. It is a joy to write. It is liberating to write. But if you don't want to put in the effort to actually make something of it, well then, just know where you're going to be. And be okay with that. But if you want to strive to play with the big boys and girls, know that it's going to take years of effort to get there. No, you're not going to be a bestseller within your first year. And I know that there's a genius out there who is listening to this and is thinking, what does this guy know? Guess what? You're not infallible. You're not perfect. Your first draft isn't perfect. Your second draft isn't perfect. Even the final book that is published isn't perfect. There are still things that I look back on the stories I've released, and some of them have some really big mistakes. Others, I put in the best effort I could, and I know that there's still something out there that I didn't get quite right. But you know what? That's okay. Don't let that be the little pea that keeps you up at night. You're not the princess on the bed with the pea. You are an author. And you are constantly going to be growing. You're going to be changing. You're going to be discovering things. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. So don't let yourself become disabled by the fear of failure because you've created this facade for yourself that you can't, that you're the best ever. No, tone down that pride and arrogance a little bit right there. It doesn't help you out any. It does give you the motivation to continue on. It gives you the motivation to talk to people and be exuberant about your stories. But understand that you still have a long way to go and that you will always be growing, that you will always be improving. The other thing that I want you to know, younger Lars, is this. It is all worth it. When you get to the point where I am, you're going to look around at what you've done and you're going to realize, yeah, I've only sold a couple hundred books. Don't you realize what you've just done? You have written numerous stories. You've completed that. Do you know how many people never complete their first book ever? And you've actually sold books. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty awesome. Sure, you're not making a living from it yet. You very well might if you keep on working at it. It's awesome. Once again, it is so liberating. It is so fulfilling to write. This is what we do as authors. We create worlds and characters, and we put them into these fascinating stories, and we get to see how they grow and live, how they succeed, how they fail, how they pick themselves up again. It is absolutely incredible. And you're going to realize that more rewarding than the bottom line are those times where you've written a chapter and you feel like crying because you have written something so totally from the heart. It might not be your story, but you connect with that story that you've just written, that chapter that you've just written, that scene that you've just written, those characters. It is just amazing. It almost goes beyond words, and trying to somehow describe it feels like you're cheapening the experience. That is worth more than money. But you know what? If you keep on at it, yes, you're actually going to make some money. You're going to make a name for yourself. You're going to start meaning something to other people as people read your stories. And then, younger Lars, strap yourself in for the commitment to the long haul, because there's a lot still to do. You're not done yet. You're not perfect. You never will be. It's a very, very long climb to the summit. But, as Brandon Sanderson has said, journey before destination, Radiant. It's all about the journey. And if you can love the journey, this is going to be something really, truly amazing. So remember, younger Lars, get over yourself. Learn to improve. Listen to your writing group. Practice. Fail. Succeed. Learn from both and continue to improve. And strap yourself in for the long haul. Be ready for a lot of disappointments. You know what? It makes those victories all the sweeter. This is what the adventure of writing is like. And yes, it is so much more fun with friends. It is more fulfilling with friends. And you're going to realize that even if you only ever sell a couple hundred books, that the friends you made along the way are worth more than their weight in gold. Remember that, younger Lars. And remember that to all you other authors out there. That's really what it's about. Now, with that being said, younger Lars and all you others out there who've watched this video, thank you for watching. And if you want to see the product of all this sweat, toil, tears, and blood, well, let me introduce you to my newest book, Bleed, Steam, and Steel. Ready for this? Here's the pitch. Are you tired of the best girl in your life? Looking to change things up with a new sweetheart to run away with on new adventures? Does wanderlust pull at your heart, telling you that there are far-off places to see and cultures to experience? Or does your blood run hot with the desire to fight in epic battles, save the kingdom from vile conspirators, and jump into a steam-powered mech suit, laying waste to dozens of your enemies? Well, all of these wishes can be granted and more if you read the newest novel from Lars Jensen, Bleed, Steam, and Steel. This high adventure packed full of steampunk goodness tells the epic story of 4 heroes whose separate journeys will transform the war-torn world of Ida. Join Zeman in his game of spies and assassins as he protects his nation from the murderous Dr. Raven. Accompany Lagertha as she quests to find what her gods have long lost, and she just might find her faith along the way. And battle alongside General Arthur as he seeks to bring an end to the 100-year Steam War. And did I mention your new best girl? Well, ride with Asuka in her steam-powered paladin as she fights to save her family from destitution and dishonor. No, not that Asuka. I'm talking about this Asuka. Bleed, Steam, and Steel is available now at Amazon. Link is in the description. Please help support Camille's Harem by purchasing this amazing book and keeping our lights on. And remember, everyone, writing is an adventure that is more fun with friends. Please join us over at all of our different social media sites. Links for those are also down in the description. And until the next video, y'all, tschüss.